I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds, and we got a giant bull mastiff puppy today, and I just got him to come to the stairs. Where you at? He's under the table, causing a ruckus. 3 months old, and he's fucking gigantic. I'll put a video in of him, but he's scoping out the area. You good? Okay. I'm gonna be right here. I'm not going nowhere. But you're causing a ruckus, buddy. Oh, thank God he's sleeping now. We're trying to. But since we are so excited about Succession, I thought we'd get into a little bit more of the details. Hey, buddy, I need you to stop kicking shit around under the table. That'd be real cool. Okay, Succession, people, where you at? Let's do this. This is just a video going into some of the things that I noticed in Season 2 that I'm wondering if they're going to get brought back up in Season 3. A lot of times, I'll see a lot of the same question asked, so I try to keep an eye out for some of those things and elaborate more on what I already thought, so some of it is that. Things from Season 2. Let's just talk about Season 2 for now. We know that Logan was from Scotland but moved to Canada with his brother Ewan and was raised by his uncle, and we get the shot of him in the pool is at the end of Season 1 with the scars on his back, which to me alluded to that there was abuse going on, and much like in The Sopranos and in Game of Thrones, and watch my video if you haven't, comparing them all, there are cycles of abuse going on in the family, and you choose whether or not to continue those or to break the cycle. Either way, we know that Logan went through some kind of abuse with, and Kendall says some kind of line where he's like, oh yeah, and you had to live with big bad uncle whoever the fuck, and it's like, no, I think that uncle was way worse than the kids even know, and I don't think, and Logan says it in the end of Season 2, he says, I was a good Catholic kid, I never even took my shirt off in front of my wife. So I highly doubt he has spoken about the abuse that he went through as a kid. One thing that I found very interesting is, remember when they set up Rhea to make a jackass out of herself and bring up the sister Rose, which is real fucked up on the kid's part to have that even brought up and used as like ammunition, but Logan does the same thing, so whatever. But Rose, the sister, she died in Scotland prior to them moving to Canada. And Ewan says to Logan, I know that you blame yourself, but you shouldn't. And I'm wondering if the uncle may have had something to do with that. Did he have something to do with Rose's death? And even at that young age, Logan felt like, because I think Logan is the oldest. Does he feel like he says that he felt like he couldn't protect her. And so it's like, oh. So did you know that some shifty shit was going on? And even though you were a kid and probably couldn't have done anything about it, you still hold that guilt to this day? And I'm wondering if they'll talk about that more or get into it at all. Because another thing that I found very interesting is that they never mention Logan's father. I'm wondering if we will ever hear about the dad. I'm wondering if we will ever find out about Rose and what was really going on with his uncle. Because like I said, we see the physical abuse on Logan to this day. But what happened with the sister? And why do you feel responsible? If you didn't know, Logan is my favorite character. Not only is Tywin Lannister is my favorite character in Game of Thrones, so that should tell you something. But Brian Cox himself, the actor, and some of the things Logan says, they remind me of my uncle who raised me because my dad died when I was young. So I'm biased towards Logan. I would just be very interested to go back into his backstory. Where's his dad? How did the sister die? How did the mom die? And how did they end up with the uncle moving to Canada? Because isn't that a little odd to like dip out to another country a little bit? I mean, I understand it, but it's a little suspect to me. Like I was saying, Ewan and Logan, they don't talk about what went on before, even though they both have very different ideologies. But one of the best lines in the entire series is from Season 1 at the Thanksgiving episode when Ewan says, my brother is an ex-Scot, an ex- whatever, does he say Canadian? And then he says an ex-human being, but he's still my brother. And it's like, oh shit, because that's exactly how it should be. Also shows how different they are from Logan's kids. Even though they think differently, live in different countries, went through the same shit but are totally different, he's still like, no motherfucker, I stand by my brother. I don't give a fuck that you're his son. I don't give a fuck that you're my nephew. I stand with my brother. Those kids aren't like that. Dad not being around and the uncle being a piece of shit, though, this explains why Logan is such a... And I think part of this is just inherently him, but I don't think he knows how to be a dad. I don't think that he had one. I don't think that he had a good male role model in his life. He never had a dad. He never had... Well, I don't know about never, but obviously his dad wasn't around. I don't know if he dipped out. I don't know if he died. The uncle was a piece of shit. So obviously, he did not have good male role models. I don't think he knows how to be a dad. I think that he is going off what he knows, and he is abusive, and he is emotionally manipulative, and that's a form of abuse, and it is what it is. But I think that's a factor, and that's why, like I said, I would love for them to dive deeper into that. Let's stick with the same time frame of the episode with the party, and what does Logan say? And I think this might come back to bite him in the ass, but I don't know. Because Because when you watch something, and I've talked about this before, and that's why I like film and TV so much, it's one of the aspects that I like, and the difference between that and a book, and why I will argue with comic book and book readers all day, every day, because I'm like, do you understand how film works? Do you understand how TV works? Because it's very different. It's very different mediums. I'm not shit-talking the other one. I love to read, but it's a very different medium. All you can go off of is what we see and what we hear. So when you hear something that they drop in this show especially, or like a Game of Thrones or Sopranos, whatever, normally they're not just saying that to say it. It fucking means something. We don't get inner monologues. We don't get descriptions of the terrain. We don't get that. We can only see it. Oh, sorry, I just hit that, didn't I? Or hear it. And what he says is, she has all my contacts about Rhea. And he makes that a big point. He's like, she has all my contacts. She has all my people. How did this happen? Like, that freaks him out. So it's like, Rhea might not be there next season, but the fact that this information of all his connects are out, that could bite him in the ass. If you watch my season 3 trailer episode video that I put out the other day, I talk about, and now we're going to go into detail about it and how I thought this from day one. Naomi Pierce, who Kendall is seeing, I think is a rat and a piece of shit and is using Kendall to get back at this family for what they did to her. Remember the Turnhaven episode, she says, watching you people melt down and fall apart is entertaining and great, and I love it. And then she goes into when her mom passed away, she got all fucked up and wrapped her Audi around a pole or a Porsche or some shit. She makes a comment like that. And she says how ATN and all of Logan's newspapers were putting out what a fucking piece of shit she was, and they wouldn't stop putting it on the front page and talking mad shit. She's got a grudge. And I don't hate this but I just am like I said, I'm cheering for the Roys because that's how they want it to be and how it is wrote. But you shouldn't be cheering for any of these people. But in this, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, I like the shifty bad guy being a woman and nobody really knowing it yet, if that's the case. Someone took advantage of my mom's death to exploit me. I'd go full Cersei Lannister. I'd be blowing up the Sept of Baelor and I wouldn't bat an eye and I would tell the police I fucking did it. Point blank. And like I said, that can be a very bad thing, but I have to be pushed very far to do it. So in a bad way, I can relate to Naomi in this, but I don't know if I'm right. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I do. I think she's a shifty little rat who's using Kendall and knows how to manipulate and use him because she's also an addict and is fueling the flames to say, go for your dad, go for your dad, go for your dad. He don't care about you. He don't love you. Fuck him. And I think the truth is, also remember back when the lady Shiv was helping run for office and her man's asshole was on some rich people social media? Why was Naomi pushing so hard for Kendall to send her a picture of his dick? Because I think she wants it to do something with that. Because she's very pushy about it. Kendall's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then he does it. And it's like, okay, well, now she has that. I don't know how much damage that could do, but I'm sure it could do something. She has a grudge, the dick pic, openly is saying that she likes watching them fall apart. And she was at the press conference that Kendall said, yeah, fuck the world, fuck my dad, let's go. Remember when they said somebody's backing Weissel, the whistleblower, and he won't take any of our money and he won't do this and he won't do, they were like, somebody's backing him. And then they kind of pivot real fast to Senator Gilliard having the witness, and that's pushed all fast. But I think Weissel's backer was the Pierces and was Naomi Pierce personally. I do. I think that's why he didn't take the money, because he was like, oh, I know this family will pay me even more, or she will. Something's going on there, and they never go back to it. So I'm like, who is backing you? And like I said in my other video, I'll leave the link to that video down in the description talking about the season 3 trailer, but when Logan says to Kendall, you're the one who's cunt struck. And I fucking thought that was hilarious. I know that's, but he was checking him. He's like, motherfucker, I know what I'm after with her. I'm using her. You're the one who's head over heels and isn't fucking seeing what the fuck you're getting yourself into. Logan knows there's some shifty shit going on, or thinks there is. I'm really afraid that this dog is going to move in the wrong direction and knock everything around me down. Let's move to Connor at the end of the season. Connor, begging for money. His dad's like, you're fucking embarrassing me. Stop this fucking dumb shit. You're buying Napoleon's fake dick. You're buying fucking dumb shit. You're trying to run for fucking president. You're dating a call girl. Like, and I love Willa, and don't count Willa out. Willa, of all the significant others, had Connor's back and knew at that funeral for Mo Lester, to be like, when she writes a speech and then she's looking at the lady writing the biography on Logan, she's like, yeah, bitch, fucking gotcha. When Connor's reading it, all it is just plain shit. It's like, Lester was a man. Like, and it's just, he had a wife. It's just all this very basic shit, and Connor's so stupid he doesn't fucking realize it. But Willa was the one who was like, gotcha. So I don't count Willa out. She's smart, and if you notice in the first season, her and Logan have like a rapport when he's showing her the medals before he starts fighting with Ewan at Thanksgiving. And I think Logan's like, I think this girl's normal and I like her. And I think cousin Greg genuinely has a crush on her, but I think Willa is extremely smart. And at first was like, you know, whatever, I'll get my money and I'll do my plays. But now after that kind of flopped, she's like, I might as well fucking stick around anyway. But I know this guy isn't up to snuff and I need to be the backbone for him. Anyway, we'll get into the women of Succession. I really want to talk about that too. Back to Connor. So at the end of season 2, Connor is strapped for cash, offering to go to jail for everybody, offering to say he was the one pulling all the strings, feels left out. Logan has told him he's an embarrassment, says stop spending money on Napoleon dicks, like what the fuck are you doing out here, you are an embarrassment. And that I think really hit home for Connor. I also think that's why he is trying to step up to the plate in season 3 and is going to do anything to get back in his dad's good graces. Another thing to remember, which I don't know if this, like I said, will become a factor, his mom isn't the same as the other 3 kids. And they make a comment about her, like, being locked up in a loony bin or something. And that's, 1, horrible. 2, I think that he, well, not only do we know this from the wedding episode, but he resents the fact that they come from this prestigious pedigree and shit, and their mom is some fancy fucking lady, and their dad's Logan Roy, and he's like, yeah, and who's my mom, you know? And so I feel like adding that in, he double has a thing to prove to them. Not only his dad, but his siblings also. Like, just because you guys have fancy pedigrees, and I do too, but whatever's going on with his mom, I can be just as much a Roy as you motherfuckers. Watch. So that's what I think's gonna happen with him in season 3. And please don't put spoilers down in the comments. I'm not about that. I don't do spoilers. I don't look into them. I just go off of trailers, posters, whatever we get. I hate that shit. Saying that anybody's done that. I'm just saying, please don't do that, because I tried to keep it just what we are given. Then we can go to Shiv, who is the favorite kid, the precious girl, thinks she's going to get the company just cuz. Her and Marsha's back and forth at the wedding is one of my favorites too, is when she's like, your dad gave you the world and you think it's a fucking playground, and I know a spoiled slut when I see one. So she thinks she's just entitled to these things and thinks she's smarter than everybody. Like Connor says in the trailer, Shiv's a fake. But once again, I do think that in the other trailer we got her spitting in that ledger, it's Kendall's. I think she is on Logan's side. I also think that's why Tom is in the room in the trailer when we see Logan yelling about going full beast mode. He knew that Kendall was the one to be set up to go to jail or prison, whatever. She's on some high and mighty horse, I can do and get whatever I want, and that also shows in her marriage. I can have my cake and eat it too. I don't care how you feel. She's extremely entitled. They all are, but she really is. Okay, now let's go to Roman at the end of season 2. Remember that he got locked up in that hotel, in that scary terrorist situation. Mom and I kind of think that, I don't know if this is the case, Logan might have been in on that. But then I also don't think that, I don't know, I'm iffy on that one, but I'm like, I don't know. If he wasn't in on that, another show of he genuinely loves his kids, besides in my previous video where I talk about how in the panic room episode, the first words out of his mouth are, where's Kendall? Is Ken safe? Where's Kendall? And he repeatedly brings that up until they tell him they can't find him, and he's still panicking about it. When he talks to the rat motherfucker who's helping out, the PR guy, and he tells him, is Roman okay? And he says, we got him a therapist, we got him to change clothes, we got him all that, like, he's gonna be okay. But part of that tells me, like, you knew what was going on, or you knew it was going to go on. Didn't, then it's like, no, I'm genuinely concerned about my son, and I'm worried, and I love him. But Roman has been working his way through the management program, through all of this stuff, doing what everybody tells him to do. He's the only one who's genuinely trying, even though he's kind of wacky and out there. He knows that the deal is bullshit. He knows the guy's not going to come through. He's getting better at it, and Shiv even makes fun of it. He's like, oh, what, you went to management training? He's like, yeah, I did. And then I think that situation, which it would with anybody, in the hotel really affected him, especially when he's like, oh, can we talk about stuff? And they make fun of it, and he's like, he's being serious. He's like, no, for the first time, I'm being dead serious. Like, I was scared for my life, and you guys aren't taking me seriously. And so I think Roman is now stepping up to the plate officially. Oh, and I know my Succession group on Facebook, what up, guys, knows that I've been posting about this. We now have Stewie, the guy who plays Stewie, is in Spider-Man No Way Home. He's the detective. And Brian, who becomes Roman's buddy in the management training program, who I love and I think is hilarious, he was in Spider-Man Far From Home or Homecoming. He was in one of those, remember? And he's like, do a flip. I'll put a picture of him up. That's him too. So now I'm like, Succession and the MCU, same universe, but I'm joking around. Just thought that was cool. Oh, and go watch my X-Men X2 video that I made when I was home from work, super, super sick, just because I love it. I think X-Men 2 is one of the best movies, superhero movies of all time. It's one of my favorite. Who plays Stryker, one of the greatest villains that does not get the recognition he deserves? Brian Cox, Logan Roy. Succession is in the multiverse, confirmed. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I thought that was funny. Seriously, X2 is on Disney Plus now. I had to rent it for $2 to watch it at work one night, and I was all pissed about it. I watched that DVD so many times as a kid. I didn't know you could do this. I burned it out and ruined it. Brian Cox is great. And it's like, I know that's not the MCU, and it's the fucking whatever. It's the legacy ones, but whatever. Still, he is one of the best Marvel villains in all of the Marvel movies, including the ones that aren't in the MCU. Stryker. Brian Cox playing Stryker is amazing. Love for Brian Cox and X-Men aside. I want my friend Brad to come on and talk about X-Men, because we all need to talk about X-Men, because X-Men can apply to so many things going on in the world right now that we need it. Favorite Nightcrawler. Who's yours? Back to Succession. Kendall, at the end of season 2. He's not doing this shit because it's right. He's not doing this shit because of the victims. I think that he had genuine remorse for what he did with that kid and really did feel like, I should pay for it and go to prison. I should, at first. And then I feel like a part of him just snapped from not being put in charge, from his dad putting out terrible articles about him, all that shit. And I think like a little kid, he's throwing a bratty fit, and this is a fight for the company. This is not anybody giving a shit about the victims. Also rewatching season 2 at the end on the yacht, and I say this all the time, I grew up hardcore Irish Catholic. I have an enormous family. And so I went to Catholic school for half my life, and I know my shit. So when I saw the Judas kiss, which is also used in The Godfather Part 2 with Fredo, and the Last Supper, and so they have their Last Supper moment. He kisses his dad on the cheek with the Judas kiss. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's when Judas kissed Jesus in the garden to mark him as the one for the Romans to come and snatch up and take to get crucified. So what the little Bible story for you? So the Judas kiss, they had their Last Supper moment, and Kendall there's a shot of him from above in the pool on the yacht, stretched out like Jesus. So they are letting you know like he's going to be sacrificed. He's the one that Logan's going to put on the chopping block. Sacrificial lamb, if you will. Another thing, and like I said, I know I'm biased towards Logan, but I really did like this. And guess what? Sitting by and knowing something bad is happening and not doing anything about it is just as bad. But I thought it was very interesting that they put in there that when Logan talks about, I couldn't take my shirt off in front of my first wife. I was a good Catholic boy. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do any of the shit those guys were doing. I didn't fucking do that, Ken. I wasn't like that. And now I'm going to go down for it? Like, come the fuck on. I think he genuinely meant that. And I think at that point he didn't know if he was going to use Kendall or not. I think that Tom and a few others were top candidates until Shiv stepped up for Tom, and they don't say it directly, but it's insinuated when she's like, I can't. And so he's like, okay, well, if it can't be him and all these other ones, you know what's going to happen, right? And that's why she knows it's going to be Ken. This is what I mean again. Ewan and Logan would have never done this to each other. Shiv, Kendall, Connor, and Roman, they'll backstab each other left, right, and center for their dad, or for the company, or for money, or for power, or whatever they want that day. So yeah, I just wanted to get some season 2 thoughts out there. This was just really thrown together. Like I said, I've been taking care of this dog all night. It's been stressful as fuck today. I don't know where my eyeliner is, and I just wanted to talk about Succession more. Those are just some of the thoughts I have from the ending of Succession Season 2. I think Naomi's a rat. I think she's using Kendall. I think that Kendall's going to become the bad guy in Season 3. I think that Connor is feeling some type of way, and I'm super, super stoked for October 17th. And I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. It helps me so much. Even if you just like or comment an emoji or tell me you hate me or whatever it is, it helps me so much. And you have no idea. If you share it, that's huge. So to anybody that does that, thank you so much. I know that I have supporters that don't even watch some of these shows that I talk about, and they put it on in the background and don't listen, and that helps me a ton. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, because I really love doing this. And like I said, these are just some of the thoughts I had, and I'm tired, and I had a stressful last day, and I got this dog up here, and I don't know if he's going to go back down the stairs or whatever. And remember, my Motor City nerds, the Loki horns with the stand, they come off, is still up for the giveaway. So, all you have to do to be entered for the giveaway for these is to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on any video. So yeah. Remember, I'm Abby. All of my social media is in the description. How to support the channel is down in the description. Share, like, whatever the fuck. I don't know if any of my thoughts made sense today. I just like to talk about Succession. So yeah, and we'll get into more and better detailed stuff about that before Season 3 comes out with Season 1 and Season 2 put together. I'm just trying to figure out how to break it up.